28 months down, yeah, the industry's been bruised, but we're not here to fold, we're here to refuse. While others pause, we built the plays, now we're leading the charge in a brand new phase. You feel that tension, that's the pressure to grow. Hiring's messy, turnovers high and budgets low, but we don't panic, we adapt. We sharpen the edge and reload the map. This is the Staffing Playbook, strategy on tap. Steven brings the grit, G-Money brings the slap. Forget the fluff, forget the spin. We give you plays that actually win. From the break room floor to the boardroom seat, we've walked the walk, now we bring the heat. CDLs, forklifts, line leads, and execs. We place the best and fix the wrecks. Insight, hustle, leadership bold. No safe takes, just the truth told cold. Wanna scale your team, wanna close that gap. We got the data, the story, and the roadmap. So turn it up, lock it in. This is more than a podcast, it's a win. This is the Staffing Playbook. Let's get to work, it starts right now.
Welcome back to the Staffing Playbook. We are live. I'm your host, Steve Farrell. I'm joined by my co-host,
Genevieve Bourgeois. How are you today?
I am fantastic. How are you?
I'm well. I can't believe you got me up this early.
I know. It's this is such a cool time to be up because we have our regular panelists on the program today. Richard Rosner, the Staffing Shark, and Kim Henderson from Cobalt Compass Solutions. Welcome back, you two. How are we doing today?
Oh,
wonderful.
Fins up, my friends.
Fins up.
He's like, there's blood in the water.
That's it. Early in the morning.
Yes. Well, you know, we're streaming live today. Richard, Genevieve, and myself, we were at Avionté Connect last week. A lot of workshops, got a preview into some of the technology that the staffing industry is using. We missed Kim. She didn't get the memo. Sorry, Kim. Wish you were there.
I know. I missed out.
Mine was lost in the mail for a long time, too. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay, Charlie Brown.
Well, Genevieve, we'll wait for our invite next year. Hopefully they don't forget, right?
Yeah, hopefully they post on the VIP list, okay? But I mean,
where we
That's
should
right.
be.
you were sorely missed. Like,
I don't want to spend too much time on recapping that. We're actually going to do a separate episode, Genevieve and I, on doing a recap. But just a takeaway, one takeaway. Richard and Genevieve, biggest takeaway from that event.
let's see, my jawline still hurts, okay? Because I got to meet and greet and talk to so many people while I can't even speak this early.
You had to be social like 12 hours a day.
No, it had to be social. Like as soon as I got off the plane to me, like getting on all this the whole time through, because I was just meeting and talking to so many different people, and we got so many different insights, and actually talking to other users with Avionté and how they're using it. And a lot of us are having like the same issues, or they are using a tool in a different way. And just, it was fantastic to have that type of connection and camaraderie. Sorry.
All right. So you commiserated with everyone having the same challenges.
No, but we also are using the same tool or using different parts of the tool, right? Differently, in which that's actually what they're doing is actually, I was like, oh, is this something we can go and implement on our team? Is this something that's going to help us streamline and work together? And actually, it was a really good staffing community building event.
It was electrifying all the way, electrifying vibe. I got to tell you, you know. Now, actually, when I say it's electrifying, guys, it was off the chain. And you know what's great about it, Kim? Everybody, whether it was fist pumps, handshakes, hugs, I'd never seen anybody with a frown on their face. I mean, we were all smiling, laughing, joking, hugging, but also learning too. It was like a fun atmosphere to learn. Like the Experience Center wasn't like you're just sitting there and you're jotting stuff down. You're quizzing each other. You're learning. You're interactive. It was incredible.
Okay, better or worse than Staffing World, which is the flagship event?
Wow. Okay, so
can we just say to be determined, because Staffing World's like less than 2 months away?
True. I'm saying based on historical,
They have different vibes, Kim. There's different vibes. 500, 600 people vibe, nothing can compete to Connect. No way. No way.
Mm.
I mean, Staffing World's real big, so you're not going to be able to hug everybody, 2,000 people. I'll try. I'll get maybe 1,500, but all joking aside, it's a totally different.
As long as you hug the three other people on the screen right now, that's all.
And if we get pictures, that's all matters, right?
Our hug, right?
Yeah, we need to remember that this time. We got to grab photos.
Exactly.
Terrible at that. I didn't take one photo.
Oh.
You forget, right?
You do, yeah.
Oh, yeah, because you're talking to people and you're actually engaging with people, because it's like we're all like behind these screens all the time, right?
Yeah.
But
Right.
you actually get to interact with people. It's like, no, I promise I do have legs. Like let's chat. You're just in the moment. So like that was fantastic. So we gotta
Kim, you'll love it, Kim Oak. Every time I talk to somebody, the camera came out like a gun, like get ready for a shot. Boom, 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 boom.
Right.
But it's all about having fun. You know what? I got to tell you guys at the end, and then we'll wrap it up with this. Is you know what? Avionté, what they have done in the last year, with everything's going on, I mean, they are at the forefront when it comes to ATS. We all say at the end of the day, core ATS is the core to your recruiting. But what they have done and the innovation they do every year, Kim, I mean, just come next year to learn more about it. It's amazing.
Well, I had a couple takeaways. One is that the industry has shifted completely, right? We need to be those trusted advisors for our clients. We need to do more than just fill a job order. And that's what our customers are asking for. And if you are not willing to adapt, if you're going to continue to do staffing the way you did in 2019, you won't be around in 5 years. There's no way around it. The second thing, the other big takeaway for me is there is a lot of technology out there with AI, and there's a lot of confusion that comes with that. And so, all of us saw some really cool tools with some of these different vendor booths, and a lot of them did some of the same things. Others did things differently. But at the end of the day, it is a confusing sea of tech that supports the staffing industry. And we have got to get really clear at an individual level for our own firms. We need to map out what it is our ideal state is when it comes to the candidate journey, the client journey, and so on. And then we need to insert the appropriate tech to support that journey, that vision of yours. If you're just looking for a out-of-the-box tool because it looks good, it sounds great, you're not going to get anything out of it except for probably more challenges and disruptions in your operations. You've got to get clear in your operations of what you want and then you fill in the tech. So I was more confused than ever with what's out there, which was actually a good thing for me because it helped me really get clear on what I want, big picture, and then I'll just find the right tools to insert in that process.
You got it, man. You got it. Take them reviews into, my friends, call another person that uses the solution, ask him to,
Yeah, because there's a lot of CRMs out there, right?
Oh, a million of them, Kim.
Yeah, Richard, you and I, we work with a couple of them and team with them, and they all, I think, are great. They all have their high points. Again, there's all like differences, nuances in functionality, and user friendliness and capability. So to your point, Steve, it's like, what's right for you, what's right for your organization in terms of how you're going to utilize it.
Exactly. And something else, guys, real quick, that I've talked to Avionté about is like how much they actually use the ATS. Most recruiters only use like 15% of it. You know that. That's why this user conference is so important. They blame, the ATS doesn't work. Well, you only use 15% of it. Hell, come on, peeps.
You're not wrong.
Yeah, that was one of our biggest takeaways. I think it's like, we thought we were using it maybe like probably closer to 30. I was like, maybe it's like 5 to 8. Okay, like we need no, but I mean, it's good to know that. So then we can move forward, especially while we're getting ready to ramp up going into Q3, we're in Q3. I'm like, oh my goodness, where did this year go? But going into Q4. And so I think actually like this goes really well with our topic today, Stephen. Do you want to tell everyone what it's about?
Drum roll, please. So today's topic, we are going to talk about how you can finish the year strong in 2025. I know we're all passionate about this topic. In fact, I'll be speaking at the Finish the Year Strong Summit in October, put together by Benjamin Mina. So kind of fun using the same name here. Not on purpose, but we're all trying to finish the year strong, and we're gonna break it down for you during this live session today. So put your questions in the chat. If you're curious of how we plan to finish the year strong, or if you want to share what you're doing, let's talk about it. So all of us have been in the industry for a long time. Genevieve and I have probably the shortest amount of time. But Kim, you've seen, and Richard, you too, you've seen, the .com bubble burst. We've seen the Great Recession in 08, 09. We all experienced COVID. And so if you go back down memory lane, think about the Great Recession, what were you asking yourself? Like, how do I finish the year strong, right? And what's different today? How do we finish the year strong today in this 3-year recession in staffing?
I love this topic. This is one that I'm so glad that we're going to talk about today. I get excited on it. Okay, so first I'll go, and then Richard, you can jump in. How about that?
You got it.
All right, we'll go ladies first on this one. So what I would say is, look at it this way. Throughout my staffing career, I have to tell you, November and December were always consistently two of my strongest months, right? Because your clients, they're not just necessarily checking out. They get to the end of the year, and a few things can happen. They've got budget dollars that they have to use, or they lose them, right? So they're trying to spend those budget dollars that are earmarked for staffing and for personnel. They also took a wait and see approach this year in a lot of cases, right? Looking at interest rates, tariffs, all this other stuff, the big beautiful bill to determine the impact. And then now they're going, okay, maybe we're getting to the end of the year. The clouds are clearing a little bit. Let me go ahead and, again, make these hires before I lose these budget dollars next year. So another thing, there is no better, for lack of a word, excuse to get in front of customers than the holidays, right? It is a 100% great thing to be able to get out there, whether you're Christmas, Hanukkah, whatever it is, Thanksgiving, get in front of them, drop off that card, take them out to lunch and reconnect. It's a wonderful excuse, and everybody tends to be in a more, a better frame of mind around the end of the year as well. So they're going to be more apt to meet with you. But where the rubber hits the road are some of the questions that I would be asking are, number one, okay, let's frame it. As we get into Q4 and we move into Q1, what is going to be the total staffing spend for direct hire and contract placements, within your team and within your organization, right? Give me a dollar amount. So you know what you're aiming at, right? And then also, as we move forward, what's the total number of contractors in the organization in your team today? And then let's talk about Q4 and into Q1, right? What are like the top 3 business initiatives going to be within the organization, over the next 6 months? What are the critical challenges that you're having? What did you put any projects on hold within the last 12 months? Are you going to move forward with those projects now? How will you staff them? Right? How have you been handling, staffing throughout the year if you've been holding off on hiring or people working overtime? What's been the impact to your business? Right? Are there any strategic changes that you guys are going to be making into Q4 and into Q1, like, things like divestitures or buying a new company, closing down an office in a market, strategic things that are big catalysts to change, which spur on, contract hiring. Or it could be, what new projects do you have? So again, really hammering down, getting a feel for, what Q4 is going to look like, and then Q1 changes, big things, challenges, big things that are happening that they're planning for, right? And then kind of a little bit of a look back, what did you do this year, and did it slow you up? Did you put off hiring? Are you going to, move forward with that now? So again, get your staffing, I'll call it staffing resource assessment. That's kind of what we would call it back in the day. And my boss would make us sit down and go, okay, let's see your staffing resource assessment for company X that you're working with for Q4 and into Q1. And it was anticipated numbers of hires, projects that were going to happen, key changes, key challenges, key initiatives, all those things that were going to drive something within that organization. And I would say too, you may be like, okay, well, let's say the company says, they're going to downsize or restructure. That's not all gloom and doom. That can be a great environment for contract hires, right? Still have to keep the lights on, still have to do payroll, still have to do IT security, still have to do all these things. Can be a wonderland for hiring contractors in. So again, understand your staffing resource assessment end of year, right? Changes, challenges, projects, key initiatives, things like that. And you have a wonderful excuse to be in front of people, right? And then finally, you alluded to it earlier, both of you, value add. Hey, Mr. Client, we can help you with all this. But in addition to bringing on these resources, these, Java developers for your project, what would be of value to you? How can we add value to you and your organization? What are you not getting right now from your existing staff and suppliers? What can we do different that would be value add to you, right? So this
Okay.
is there.
Kim.
Mic drop.
Rewind.
Kim is officially the host.
Rewind the last 4 minutes and
I'm
play
sorry.
that back again. That was phenomenal.
I took notes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jump in.
All
Oh,
right,
no.
Kim, you ready for this? I'm going to tell you straight up. Okay, so I love everybody says the third and fourth, be strong. Come on. The second quarter is where it's at, my friends. I'm going to tell you straight up. Got to be proactive, not reactive. Majority of staffing firms are reactive. They're like, oh, third quarter, I'm going to kick it in. Here's what you got to do, okay? So you got to get your candidates and your clients in place. Here's what it's all about. I'm going to give you the secret right now. You guys ready for it? So this is it. So it's summertime. Everybody thinks you're taking off. No, summer is sizzling with staffing. That's where I get majority of my clients and my candidates for the third and fourth quarter, being proactive. And here's where it's at. Okay, so most staffing firms, they're on Indeed, they're on the job boards or whatever you got, Monster, Career Builder, all joking aside. And then they're in their office with job fairs now for the third and fourth quarter. How about have county fairs? County fairs are your number one source. Yes, county fair from July to September. I go to 3 county fairs every year. I set up a big tent. I got music blasting, give them bikes away, 100,000 people in 10 days. Costs minimal money. And guess what? I got an iPad. Yes, I do use an iPad sometimes. They put their name in, interested, what they want. Right there, you have 300 candidates within 10 days. Face to face, you got that human connection already, so it's rolling. So when the seasonal work starts at the Amazons, the FedEx, the UPSs, guess what? The Shark and whoever I'm working with, we are armed and ready to go. That is the key.
Okay, all right, so I'm gonna push on you on this one. You know I love you. You're my brother. You're like my brother. Okay, that may be great for some, skill sets, but I mean, the question is, are your CPAs and your IT developers and folks like that, or your registered nurses, are they at these events? What have you found? Okay,
so I'm gonna push back and say at a county fair, all local people. I have doctors, attorneys, everybody shows up with their kids at this event. So this is all walks of life. Even though it's agriculture and carnival, you're getting the whole community, 100,000 people. That's just not blue collar. That's white collar too. So it works. Okay. County fairs and festivals. I'm going to tell you straight up. I've been doing it for years. It's one of the game changers. I tell people to do that all the time. And if you guys haven't done it yet, even the state fairs, you will rock it out. And guess how many staffing firms are there? 0. So you have it all. Bring some music, bring that valuetainment. That's another way. And then in Q2, you should be out there. It's summertime. I know I love what Kim said about Christmas time, Hanukkah and all that. Everybody's in a good mood. But in the summertime, people are chill. They'll talk to you more. They're relaxed. Most time, the managers are in the office because all the other personnel are on vacation at times. So you get maybe a one-on-one. It's a little bit slower for them. So they're like, come on here, Shark. Come and talk to us. So be proactive. And Q2 is your core for 3 and 4. I mean, I see a lot of staffing firms now are trying to rush to come out and muscle up at the end of the year. You got to do it in Q2.
Exactly. I agree with you. Don't wait, right, guys? Don't wait until October, to sit down and start having these conversations, because you could miss the ball, right? And it's already too late. Sit down now and start having the conversations, right, for the remainder of the year and into next year. They know these companies are doing planning, they're doing budgeting, they're getting their dollars in line for what their staffing needs are going to be. So yes, start now. If you wait too late, then you're done for, like the Shark said. And the next thing you know, the year's behind you, and you miss the boat, right? But I will say, November, December can be some of the strongest placement months. I love November, December.
And you know what else, Kim, real quick, before we go into it, is also send emails out during the holidays. Halloween, send some cool Halloween stuff out that whole month there to your candidates and clients. Keep them engaged.
So, Richard, I think you're the only one that could make a staffing booth an attraction at a county fair. Just wanted to throw that out there.
It's true, but
is
it's a
good.
brilliant idea. It really is,
I
because
would've
you're
thought
actually
of it.
you're connecting with the community.
Yeah.
It's 100%. Who wants to sit? Here's the thing, real quick. And I'll let you guys talk. Is like, I see all staffing firms. Here's their mistake. They put hiring events, walk-ins. How many walk-ins you get in a hiring event at your office? Be honest. 1 or 2, like 3, and maybe a couple are not even qualified. Why be like sit there and wait? Go for the hunt. Go where the audience is at. I mean, if it's a local football game, high school football games, I used to set up a tent there. You're getting all the local people coming in. They get to know your brand. Guess what? You get candidates and clients. They're like, hey, I need a couple welders. Shark, can you find them for me? It's a feeding ground, seriously.
Now, Richard, you're at the West Virginia. You have the university right where you live, right?
Oh, that's a hotbed for me. It's like for Gen Z, that's why But even in Pittsburgh and the rural areas, everybody has a festival somewhere. Tap into them. They will love you to be there.
Yeah. All right. I want to peel this back a little bit. Kim, first of all, very strategic thinking from your comments and suggestions. It's really getting into the customer's business, understanding. I love the fact that you asked, what projects did you put off this year, right? That are you planning on putting them back in the budget for next year? Getting aligned on those projects. The fact that budgets were being paused and carefully scrutinized throughout the year. And now they're looking to next year and possibly opening those budgets back up. So let's talk about it. Let's get aligned. Let's talk about their own business goals for the next year. Mm-hmm. You go into, Q4, typically, talking to your clients about, hey, we have 120 associates with you now. What does that look like in January? Is it still going to be at 120? Will it be less? Yeah. Will it be more?
Right.
You have that conversation with all your clients. You have the conversation with your associates. Hey, are you happy? Are you going to be here through Q4? Are you planning on being here in Q1? So you're asking all the right questions to strategize and prepare to support your clients. And I think that's often missed, but very important.
And that should be throughout the whole year too, just not during crunch time. That should be from January to December. Seriously, the whole time you should know what's going on with your client.
Right. Steve, you hit on something that I didn't hit on, right? Because of course there's two sides to this. There's the client side and then Shark was sitting on the candidate side. But let's look at this, Genevieve and Steve. The contractors that are out billing on assignment, let's face it, traditionally, historically, December is the time that could potentially be a bloodbath. If you're not on top of it with people flying off assignment, that's really as well when we're in front of our hiring manager, hey, what does extension look like? Are we going to go and extend these individuals? If so, let's get that work order signed, get them locked in and get them committed for the next 6 months. Oh, you're not going to need them. You're not going to extend them. Then we can quickly go and take that inventory and take those candidates that are proven entities for us, remarket them and get them out on assignment. But it is so key to get ahead of that now because December 31st, I remember every December 31st, there was like a slated 50 something people, ready to end. And we had to be on it 10 weeks out ahead of it. Are you going to extend? Are you going to extend locking down the candidate, locking down the client, or if not, doing the remarket piece? Because you really can find yourself in a bad way. If you're passive and you're reactive on that, next thing you know, you've cut your head count in half and you've cut your income in half too. So anybody out there, start asking about your contractors on assignment. What does extension look like so you can get ahead of it and your candidates don't get kind of squirrely and jump, right? And leave you.
That's an excellent point to bring up because it's like, oh, hey, I know I like having consistent paychecks. I know our candidates feel the same way, right?
Right.
Okay? At the end of the day, we're in the business of people. So you got to think about that. Hey, are we going to go and extend? Okay. If not, you got to go skill market and help that person because that also is going to keep that candidate more, committed to working with you rather than jumping to another agency or jumping to another role. And it's actually providing more consistency across the board for everyone.
So I don't want to scroll too much, but something I want to share here is this year has been tough for everybody, not just staffing, but our client companies and everyone doing business. And so some companies, they lead their organizations very well through hard times, right? Where there's a contraction, they still lead well, they still take care of their people. But there's many companies out there that do the opposite, right? They treat their people like a commodity. They're not giving the normal pay increases, and they're not offering the same amount of benefits. Maybe they've cut back on their healthcare spend, et cetera, et cetera. And so there's a real arbitrage here where there's a lot of talent out there that have felt left behind, underappreciated, undervalued, overworked. And so as budgets start opening up, these candidates are going to be looking for a company that's going to care for them and lead them in the right way. And so for those direct sourcing recruiters out there, this is the time to go back into your talent roster and start engaging with these people to see if they're happy or if they're looking for a better opportunity. And I think you're going to have a higher success rate in Q4 of placing these candidates with new companies because there is a shift that's happening. Although it's small, it's happening. The wind has changed, and these candidates are going to start looking because now they feel like they have options, and you've got to help them see that there's options and make that transaction happen.
100%. I had a show this week, guys, on, I don't know if you've seen it or not, the job seekers. I mean, it's tedious. I mean, they don't trust staffing firms. They don't trust anybody, anytime they put something on a platform, they never get their response back. So this is where we step up. My friends, I can only do so much. The Shark gets calls all the time. I can only put so many people to work every day. But no, seriously, this is where becoming real. You have to be real. And remember, it's not about just pushing somebody out there. Just, think what they're about, their heart, their family, stuff like that. We got to be a social worker these days. Seriously, we have to be in recruiting. What do you think, Kim?
Do you think, guys, to me, okay, think about yourself. We're all consumers, right? We call someplace and, and they're, we'll get back to you. You never hear from them again, right? Like you call a plumber or something like that. I think, to me, one thing that I found to be most important when it comes to anyone, whether it's a candidate, whether it's a client, whether it's someone in your personal life, follow up. People don't want to be dropped into the black hole, even if they're not a fit and you don't have a job for them. Follow up and say, hey, I don't necessarily have a job that fits you, but have you tried this? Have you tried that? Or let me make an introduction here or introduction there, or maybe contact this person. Point them in a direction and help them. And guys, it will pay dividends for you down the road. It may not be a placement now, but if you have that long-term mentality and mindset, they're going to come back to you one day and give you a referral business. In the Great Recession of 2009, God, we had A-plus candidates, I remember, we just didn't have jobs for them, right? But we made a conscious effort to try to help them, try to point them in a direction, knowing that things eventually would turn around. Same thing in 2001. Yep. And ultimately, they came back to us and gave us referrals or when they got into a hiring capacity, they say, hey, I remember how you guys treated us. I remember how you guys spoke with us or how you guys pointed me in a direction, back when things were bad. I appreciated that. So I will say there may not be a payout for you today, but again, this is an industry where you have to embrace a long-term mindset and do what's best for candidates and clients in the long run, even if there's no payout today. And trust me, you will be remembered for it in a positive way. You
know what, Kim? I love that real quick. And my time in here is like, you know what? I think you should team up with other staffing firms too. We've talked about this at Connect. You know what? If you have 3 staffing firms in a local area, say in Pittsburgh, team up together and see if you can knock it out together because you all win. I give candidates away all the time and I don't ask for anything. If I can't find them a job, I'll refer them to Steve, G Money, Kim, whoever. That's what it's all about. Not just push them to the side. Say, hey, I got somebody else. I can't find you. I'm busy. Push them to somebody else. We all have to be together in this, in the industry.
100%.
I agree. And I think that's how we remove ourselves from becoming or eliminate ourselves from becoming and staying a commodity. Okay. Like just think of it that way, because really embracing that long-term mindset, actually working together, because I may not have the right job for candidate X, Y, and Z. However, Richard may have it, Kim may have it. So why wouldn't we go and be like, hey, Mr. Candidate or Mrs. Candidate over here, I've got 2 excellent contacts for you, blank, blank, blank. And Kim, like you said, making sure that you're following up, because guess what? They're going to remember how I treated them.
Right.
Well, Yeah, I love that, Genevieve, because yes, we're competitors, but we can work together and we should work together. I'll give you a real-time example that happened. Something happened just this morning, right before this call. I'm on a call with a current customer that we went through an RFP process with, and they were evaluating us as a vendor. They were evaluating their other partner, and um, they decided there was one other vendor that they thoroughly screened that is going to replace one of us, right? One of the two in the building. And so, of course, we're a little cautious. Like, are we going to get replaced? But during this call, the HR manager was like, "Look, we appreciate your partnership. You guys align well with us. You guys have really owned your performance, the good and the bad. And when we met with our other current vendor and they showed us their performance and spoke to it, they did not own their part in the turnover, but you guys did. And we want a partner like that." And so then this HR manager shared the other vendor they're bringing on board. Instead of being a jealous ex-girlfriend or casting a shadow, I genuinely was, excited for them. Like, great pick. I know that company, they do well. In fact, I know the market manager locally here for that company, and you are in great hands. And in addition to that, that market manager worked for me before. We're good friends. I can't wait to link arms with him to support you. Yes, we're competitors. We're going to fight for every order, but it's not about us at the end of the day. It's about you, client. We're going to link arms and help you. And that was sincere. That wasn't just talk. And that's completely different way of doing business with our clients than traditional staffing.
Good for you,
Yeah,
Steven.
that's
That's good stuff,
being
man.
a strategic partner, like an actual true
Yes.
partner in business, not just here, I'm a supplier.
Right.
That's the difference of being a partner versus a supplier.
D-Money, you hit that on the head. So many people say they're a supplier. Staffing firms don't even realize it, but they act like they're suppliers, a lot of them. They're just putting a product out there. No, this is a heartbeat. Total different,
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, that makes you a
Yeah, that's so
commodity.
true.
If you say you're a supplier, that just makes you a commodity, which it takes your pricing and it shoots it down through the floor, right? It's like buying
That's right.
pencils, and that's what we don't want. But Steve, you made a great point. Is also use that as an opportunity when we're talking about new business coming up and extending our contractors. But how are we doing? How are we showing up for you? Where can we do better? Where have we excelled? Where did we not excel? What do we need to work on? And it can be sometimes tough to kind of take that feedback, but we have to, because it enables us to get better, right? It gets a dialogue.
Mhm.
It may not tell you if you don't ask. It could just be something you're not doing, your company's not doing well, and it kind of festers, right? And next thing you know, you're off a supplier list. So we always have to ask that. I love how you brought that up. What can we improve on? What can we do better? What do you need that we're not giving you, right? And sit back and listen.
I love what
Yeah.
you said, Kim. One word, accountability.
Accountability.
If I suck, just tell me I suck. I want that, No, seriously, so you can improve about that.
You're
That's
right,
what
you're
we're
right.
doing in life, everything.
Take
football,
ownership.
anything.
Yes.
Yes,
Take ownership
ownership.
of your wins, but also take ownership of your failures.
There's
Like,
no blame game here. There's no blame game. It's yourself.
Exactly. Because you don't know sometimes, we all have blind spots, right? In our business and personally with ourselves. So sometimes if we don't ask, and we don't know. And when they tell us, that's something that we need to kind of take to heart and go, okay, let's go back and as a business work on X or Y. So I love you brought that up, Steve. It's a good opportunity. Hey, we're nearing the end of the year, fourth quarter.
Mhm.
How have we done? Right?
That's right.
Better.
A couple more points I want to make for finishing the year strong. So your sales team in your firm, they work their butts off, I would imagine, all year long, trying to get new business on board, and likely are not seeing the return quite yet, because it takes time to build that trust with the client to prove yourself in the building that you can fill the orders with the right people. And you're likely competing against wallet share within that building. And so it just takes time. And so this is the perfect time, if you haven't started already, to start growing with your customers during their busy season. You've already established some trust, hopefully. You've crossed that off. And now let's partner with your client and let's talk about what we've learned through the process servicing the last 5 months. Some of the mistakes we made, and we own that. Here's the things that we're doing to correct that. And let's partner with you on your strategy for the rest of the year. How can we be more value to you? And so now you can grow with all these new accounts that you've brought on this year at a much faster rate. And that's one way of finishing the year strong. But the other side of this coin is you have got to have that talent pool ready to go. And it's not just you post an ad and hope and pray that someone's going to apply and they're the right person, and now you interview, screen, and hire. You should have already had that talent pool built up. You should be communicating with that talent pool weekly to ensure that they're ready to go once you have the job order. And then you need to be sharing that with your customers. Here's the pool I have right now. And by the way, out of this pool, here's John. He is absolutely the best forklift operator I've ever seen in my life. Reference checks were phenomenal. He's worked for a couple other client companies. I know you don't have an opening now, but do you want John before someone else grabs him up, right? And so
100%.
now you're securing some of these roles because there's a real value with this talent that you're offering. So get that talent pool strong, put together. We know in Q4 it's crazy, a lot of overtime, a lot of turn and burn, unfortunately. And so be ready, prepare for the worst, because it will happen and you'll be the one to save the day. Last point on that. When you share a client with a competitor, send your team in there at the start of the day when they start their shift. Say the first shift starts at 6 a.m. When you're doing check-ins, like bring your people in and see if the other agency met the amount of openings they were supposed to. If they had 10, but only 5 showed up, have 5 ready back at the office and let the HR manager know, hey, I've got 5 people that'll be here in a half an hour. Like start maximizing on your competitors falling short to gain more market share, to be right there, see it in real time that your competitors falling short and you have the people ready to go. Give me half an hour.
Man, Steve, did you watch me the last 3 years? What I do?
I
what
have.
you just said there is so true,
best.
because service. Most staffing firms don't service the right way and they're not proactive. So if you have them 5 peeps ready to go, put them on the sideline and boom, it's game time. I mean, that is a no-brainer. And then something else real quick, and I'll let Kim jump in here, is MVC, most valuable candidate. I do that. I don't like placeable. I hate that word placeable. Most valuable. That V word is so big with clients because it's valuable. And they'll look at that and say, wow, I don't need this welder. I don't need this engineer by now. But you know what? This is a good prospect. I don't want to pass up on this. Let me see if I have budget to pull this in, get the contract, and get you rolling with that client. So
love it. I love that. It is. I could reach out and hug you on that one. It is one of the best ways to show value to a client or to a prospect is through that candidate marketing piece, right? There's no value calling up going, hey, this is Genevieve. Hey, this is Kim. Hey, this is Steve. But if you actually have a candidate that's head and shoulders above the rest, call up, explain, what they've done, what they've achieved. What's the sizzle on them, right? And what's the fit factor of how and why they would be good for that organization. And to Richard's point, oftentimes they can find budget for it, right? If the candidate's really good, or at a minimum, if they can't find budget and they can't hire, it gets conversations going, right? It adds value. It gets you talking. It keeps you top of mind. It's a reason to call that's legitimate, all these good things. And on the candidate side, it showcases that, you're willing to go to bat for them and candidate market for them, even if you don't have a job, right? And it shows that you can expose your candidate potentially to a lot of the great organizations around town, or a lot of the great organizations, throughout the United States. So it's a win-win all the way around, and a wonderful way to add value, candidate and client. And you may just get yourself a job order.
You got it, Kim.
And
you know what else, real quick, I'm going to jump in here.
Marketing.
You're not recruiting that candidate. You're representing them when you do that.
Yes.
Bingo.
Yeah. I love you said that. That was great. I'm so glad that you went down that path. It's a great value add.
Woo.
High
five. So everything we've talked about has been really helpful and productive, but let's talk about, a lot of what we just shared is something you should have been doing all along, right? Mm-hmm. All year. Meeting with your clients, understanding their business and their projects and aspirations and struggles, having a great candidate pool that you're engaged with on a regular basis, being their, representation, being the representative, Richard. I love that. But where do people start now if they haven't done that? What if I'm an agency owner and I'm down, just like the rest of the industry, almost 10%, and I'm losing wallet share every day. I'm not growing my new sales business as fast as I would hope, and I don't have all the technology in place. Maybe I don't even have the operations in place. Where do they start? Because you can't keep waiting. You got to start somewhere.
Get in front of them. Okay. When all else fails, be in front of your client, be in front of your prospects. I have to say, throughout the years in staffing, nobody really ever, bought anything from me while I was sitting behind my desk, right? Get out there in front of them, book the client meetings. If they're in a different state, make sure, get on the Zoom, whatever it is, be in front of them and be having those conversations face to face, or as face to face as you can possibly make it. That is the best way to get started. And to take it back even from there, you can't go and get those face-to-face interactions if you're not doing all the things we need to do. You've got to have high activity. I get it. It can be, especially in tough times, if you think back to like 08, 09, and 01, you feel like you want to jump off a bridge, right? Because you're beating your head through a wall, you're doing everything, and it's so hard to get in front of people. But I would say it is imperative to do that. Do the calls, do the emails, do the LinkedIn DMs, get out there and be, what's the word I'm looking for? Be resourceful in getting in front of clients, right? Do a webinar, do a LinkedIn Go Live where you're educating your candidates or educating your clients on interviewing or retention. Think about unique ways to add value that gets you out there in front of them, right? In addition to the LinkedIn posting and being active out there, hit it from every angle. Use every tool in your toolkit, right? From LinkedIn to in-person to webinars to everything you have to ultimately funnel yourself to be able to stay in front of them, because that's where the magic happens, where you learn what they need, you develop the rapport, the trust, the relationship, and ultimately that's where you actually win the business, because you're the person that's top of mind and in front of them versus the 15 other staffing companies that aren't. That's my.
You just summed that up. It's like the staffing blitz, just blitz from everywhere. Something else real quick, and I'll let you guys chime in here, is your niche. Go to your events. There's so many associations. If you're manufacturing, go to that manufacturing event there, show up, be energetic, have a couple drinks. Clients will just flock to you. Every healthcare, whatever it is, get to your niche association. Me and Kim, we know that very well. There it is. There's the breakthrough right there for you.
Yeah. You know what, Shark, can I just say this? I can't echo that strong enough, what he just said. I was building out a government solutions business back in 08, right? And the thing that really helped me move the needle, again, using all the tools, but I joined professional associations like National Defense, Industrial, and Armed Forces Communications. And I went to the events. I went to the lunch events, right? And it cost me like $49 at that time for the year to join. I met more people at those lunches and was able to hand them my business card, have a conversation, basically say, hey, here's what we do. I'd like to reach out to you and come and meet you in your office so we can kind of talk about your business. It fast tracked my business so much more than beating my head through a wall, trying to call that same guy for 6 months. Do the professional associations. People today, I'm going to throw out the L word. People today tend to be lazy and not want to go to those, attend to them, and invest the time. You invest the time, it will have a payout. I can promise.
Yeah, 100%. Lazy is the word. Don't be lazy.
No, I agree. Sometimes you just got to get in front of people. And I don't care if you have to go take that 30 to 45 minutes after work and go talk to them, because that's where I have actually gotten a lot of business in the past. That's where I've met so many different potential candidates, clients, you name it, because you're getting in front of them, or you may meet someone who actually knows that person there. And then it's like, oh, hey, I met Kim, and Kim introduced me to Richard, and then all of that. So it's be personal, and then make sure you're just actually getting out there. So I love it. And then I love the fact
something else is
get creative. Get
people in your office that are interacting, like Gen Zs, have them go to these events too. It don't have to be the CEO. I mean, get everybody spreading out different places that they can work at. And I'm going to tell you, the clients and candidates will just drop in, but you can't sit behind a desk like Kim said and just sit there and look at Indeed all day and waiting for somebody to pop in there and say hi. Yeah. How's it work?
Good point, Genevieve and Shark. If you're leery or you feel uncomfortable going to these events alone, so grab someone in your office and take them with you. And I would say, if you're having a down moment, or that way you don't feel awkward. Like if it's standing there alone and no one's talking to you at that point, you can kind of connect with your office person, and then move over and start meeting people, and then go back to them. It eases the anxiety a little bit.
Oh,
It does.
Even though it's like I work in marketing now, right? Okay, so in my previous role, we had a branch really close by, and guess what? I was like, oh, we got a new BDM. I was like, we're going to go to this networking event and this one. All right. And I actually introduced them to multiple people. And I'm just like, hi, Buddy the Elf. What's your favorite color? Okay. Like just going out there and then being like, oh, wait a minute. You have a need for this? Let me go and introduce you to my guy over here. He's going to be able to help come up with solutions for you.
And before you know it, they're drinking beer with you. They're eating food with you, inviting their family. I swear. Some of the clients, I go to their house for Christmas and stuff like that. That's building rapport with everybody, I mean, take them on my jet ski. I don't know. I mean, whatever, have fun with it. And I think that's a key, guys. Valuetainment. I say this over and over. It works. So if anybody needs a buddy to come to an event, reach out. I'll show up.
Right. Is he coming to our houses at Christmas time?
I
get the invite, Kim.
Oh, no.
Hey, County.
Oh, God.
So I want to make one more comment as we close this out. This has been a fantastic discussion. I'm still trying to put myself in the shoes of the struggling firm right now, which is the majority of firms out there, because the industry is down as a whole. So there needs to be time of self-reflection. As a leadership team, you need to go off-site. You need to talk about what's not working and why. What are we still doing that we've always done that's not working? We need to look at our entire business and go, are we providing the right value to our clients? What do our best clients say about us? What kind of services are they getting from us that they really appreciate that others are not delivering on? What's our niche? Do we have it right? Does it fit our income goals? And with all this margin compression, like what are we really good at, or what do we want to be good at? Like you have to take time to sit down and evaluate what you're doing, and do it for more than an hour. This needs to be an all-day event where you get super clear on what's next. And so, yes, you may not finish the year strong if you're struggling now and you don't have that North Star, and you go off site and determine that North Star. But now you have a strategy that you can start working on today that's going to help you finish a little bit better by the end of the year, but start the year much stronger than you did last year. And so they always say, I've always heard this, and it's pretty true to this day, wherever you finish the year at is where you're going to start the year. Right. And so you have to build on top of that starting in Q1. So finish the year strong as best you can in Q4, because that's exactly where you're going to start in Q1. So what are you going to do next? And make sure you've evaluated your strategies and you have the right plan in place moving forward for 2026. And just make the assumption that 2026 is going to be more of 2025. So what do you do now? Like, stop waiting for those windfalls. If 2026, and I hope it's not, but if it's going to be the same as 2025, what will you do different in 2026 to make sure you're succeeding and working towards your goals?
So
Well
I
said.
also think
Stop complaining.
it's one of those things where companies need to be more honest with themselves and actually look internally, okay, and look at their workflows, see what impediments that they can remove, see where they can increase efficiency. All right, that's something you can go take a good hard look. You got to look at all of your processes, especially on the sales side, your operations side, your recruiting side, the whole thing. You got to look at it from a 360 degree. And if sometimes you need to go bring an outside person in, right? I'm like, who knows? Sometimes you have to have an outside set of eyes, because fresh eyes are the best eyes to go help you evaluate that, and then start making those implementations now to go and rev up. All right. Because like you said, you're ending your year. That's the start of your new year. Okay. Like let's try to get you a good strategy. So taking a good hard look at yourself. Right. And then on top of that, it's like, remember, you got to be proactive, right? On all ends. You want to be a partner, not a supplier. You want to make sure that you are getting out in front of your clients and your prospects. All right, get creative, do a blitz, go to a county fair, set up a booth. You know what I mean? But also remembering to follow up. And then, like Kim said earlier, It's a great time, the holidays. Everyone's pretty cheery. Get in front of
Holidays are
them.
the
And I
best.
love when you mentioned the staffing resources assessment. I love that.
Yeah.
Money, you hit on something, and you're going down the pathway, and I guess it's probably something we do need to just quickly say. Okay, I was in a training years ago, and the guy said to all this was like a leadership training. He said to us, he goes, "Everybody in the room, tell me a time when you terminated somebody too soon." And we all sat there and no one raised their hand. And the guy said, exactly. He goes, God help you when you fall in love with these people. He said, usually what we do is we know someone's maybe wrong for the seat, and we've done everything we can to help them. We've done this, we've done that, and it just still isn't clicking. And we keep hanging on, hoping, and hope isn't a strategy. So what I'd say is, look at the people that you have working for you, sales and recruiting, right? I mean, are they checking all the boxes? Is the activity there, the conversations, and things are just slow? Or is it truly in your heart of hearts, do you know that it's the wrong person for the job, right? Because the time to go and reset the table is not January 1. If it is the wrong person, the time to reset is to your point, G-Money, really before that, right? And that's a hard conversation, and we all hate doing it, but it's something that's business. We have to do it and determine it. We're not helping them if they're in the wrong seat, and we're not helping us and not helping our business if they're in the wrong seat. So we have
You
to
summed it
evaluate.
up so good, Kim. And you know what I got to tell every company out there staffing? Have the huddle every week. Your input from your front line. The recruiters have say too. CEO, just don't put this all together yourself. Anytime you buy technology or anything, ask your recruiters. They're the ones using it. Just don't say, I went to this trade show and I'm going to buy this. Get the input from everybody. Trust me. It's about that culture. And like Kim said, it's all about the process too.
That's right.
That was G-Money that said that.
All right, guys.
All right, G.
We are coming up on time.
I'll take it.
So Shark, you've got a special announcement for a live that you're doing today at 3 p.m. Eastern time. Do you want to share real briefly what you're doing today?
Oh yeah, we got a podcast at 3:00 today. I tell you what, if anybody can join in, I mean, the tears of joy, this staffing firm, the Mumbo Group, actually, every time they place a candidate, they sponsor a child in Kenya till they're 18. Amazing. So they've had 16 children they're sponsoring right now. The gentleman who owns it goes over every year, meets with them. It's going to be touch and warming. Something that our staffing firm's all about, giving back. This is a show for you. 3:00 today.
I need waterproof
Tune in.
mascara. I'm like,
Yeah, that's
It's-
exciting. Everybody needs to tune into this live. This is just a phenomenal charity work. So looking forward to supporting it.
Thanks, brother.
Also, Kim, I know you're going to be out here in Utah, I think this month or next month for TempNet.
Yes, TempNet. Everybody out there, don't forget about TempNet, their fall conference in Park City, Utah, lovely Park City, Utah, on September the 17th through the 19th. Going to be a great event. So if you're in Utah or close by, sign up to attend TempNet, and we're going to break down quite a bit of sales strategies and sales techniques to kind of help you enhance your game. I'll be there speaking at it, but so will some other of my peers. So I wouldn't miss it. I think this is going to be a great one. TempNet, Utah, September 17th.
Can't wait.
fabulous.
I have an announcement. I have a golden ticket. So you might ask, Richard, glad you asked, what is this golden ticket that you're holding in your hand?
Golden ticket, Stephen?
I don't even know what he's talking about. So, and we
This is
work
good.
together.
I know, that's pretty bad. Department communication, we got to work on that. So we have an exclusive private workshop coming up in, I think October. Let me look at the date.
Oh,
I changed
actually,
it.
yeah. No,
October.
Yeah.
We're inviting HR leaders from across the state of Utah to come workshop on a couple of very important topics. And so this is an invite only, but if you're an HR leader watching this in Utah and you want your golden ticket, I am giving away just one to the public. So reach out to me, send me a private message. It is SHRM accredited, so you'll get continuous education credit for this workshop. And we're going to have some of the best and brightest in the room discussing how we finish the year strong, as client companies that are trying to accomplish the same things we are. So
All right.
retention.
Hurry up, guys. Hurry up,
are
ladies and gents.
October 21st
5 minutes.
through October 23rd. October 21st through October
I think those dates have changed.
23rd. No,
Oh,
this
yeah.
is what I was told
Maybe
yesterday.
you're right.
The golden ticket. For
Golden
5
tickets.
minutes.
Come get your
5
golden
minutes here on
realize that's what we're
QVC.
doing.
We're dropping the countdown, Kim. 4 minutes to go.
Well, thank you,
All right.
everybody. Kim, Richard, always a pleasure. Genevieve, thank you. We'll see you guys next week. And then the week following, we'll try to get these two back on for another staffing update.
All
Thank
right.
you. All right.
Have a good
everybody.
one.
Here, guys.
Bye. Take care. Bye.
Hey, thanks for watching today's episode. This episode is sponsored by Staffing Referrals. We have relied on staffing referrals for years to turn satisfied associates into brand ambassadors, keeping quality talent coming in and lift retention. See what it can do for you at staffingreferrals.com or click on the link in the description. Thanks for watching.